Hey everyone, it's me, Romie. So yeah, uh, this is the review or recap for Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 8, Episode 10. So how it actually starts off is we have Candy with Mama Joyce. Yes, Mama Joyce has returned, and she's basically uh, just actually we're seeing a different side of Mama Joyce because instead of oh, uh, her usual self, I'll just keep it as that. We're seeing a more, I want to be a part of everything, especially with Candy. Candy was saying how with Riley, their relationship's kind of weird because she didn't take as much of a vested interest in Riley as she probably should have, and so their, uh, grandmother granddaughter relationship is a little off. And so with this baby, she wants to do it right. She's telling Candy that she actually wants to be involved with everything and she's actually going to help with her baby shower. Not only her baby shower, she's like, there's going to be a room in my house dedicated for my new grandson. And so it's like, oh, that's really nice. But, is it just me or is it, I feel like if it was another granddaughter, she probably wouldn't have wanted to put all of this effort in. But because it's a grandson, you know how moms are with their sons and fathers are with their daughters traditionally. And that also sometimes the case, or actually usually the case when it comes to grandmothers and grandsons and grandfathers and granddaughters. So, yeah, that was my synopsis of that. And so Candy's just like, yeah, this is cool. This is just a surprise. So after that, we actually get Kenya. Kenya goes to Detroit because she loves Detroit. She goes there with her aunt and Brandon. And so it's cool because they're gonna have a nice family event, and so then sorry about that. Yeah, they're gonna have a family event. Ken is gonna have both sides of her family there. So after that, we have Cynthia and her daughter, Noelle, and Noelle, of course, is helping Cynthia pick out a couple of dresses and outfits, and Cynthia is actually discussing her relationship with Noelle because she's like, you know what? I'm married to Peter, and at the end of the day, I want my daughter to know that she needs to stick it out. If it's a marriage, you have to take it seriously. And so I feel like it is good that she is being open and honest with her daughter in that aspect and respect so that maybe when she grows up, she understands that marriage isn't just, okay, we do this, we do this. If it doesn't work out, we just get a divorce. No, it's try and stick it out. And if it doesn't work, then you leave. So that's good. I think that's great advice and good that she's trying to instill that into Noelle. And so then afterwards, we have Kenya's father steps in. Kenya's father, he brings, of course, his wife and his nephew, or their nephew, or his son, however it is. And Kenya's father is just weird because Kenya, at least she was upfront and honest about it, about how their relationship was or is still kind of strained because of the fact that she did leave and he felt some sort of way about it. And you could tell that there's still something there between them, and that even her mother in law, even no, her stepmom, they don't have a close bond. And so it's just, I feel bad for Kenya in that respect because it must be hard having to deal with family issues and not having the support of her mom's not in her life at all, and then her father, she just really made amends recently. So it's like, dang. But after that, we have Porsha. She's working out in the gym and she's with her trainer, and so she Yeah, I'm currently looking at that right now, and clearly Porsha works out, and Porsha likes to have fun, and so does her trainer, and yeah, they're doing some very intimate workouts, and it's like, yeah, you can't tell me that they haven't at least fooled around or discussed fooling around. But so then Portia's sister comes into the mix, and they actually have this big blowout because Portia just unloads on her, and it's really, they're both frustrated, and you can clearly see that this is something that needed to happen a while ago. Because how it works is first you have the big blow up or blowout where everything just comes out, and both of them are like, "You're selfish, you're selfish. How dare you? I missed one thing and you're pissed at me." And it's like, "Yeah, because you weren't there. You're supposed to be running my businesses." And Portia's sister's like, "The reason why you have me working there is because at the end of the day, you know I'm the only one that won't steal from you." And I'm like, damn. And so Portia did get quiet at that point, but it's just like, you know, that there's something deeper there. And then later on, they discuss it. But this week's episode in general is all family oriented for the most part. So that was a nice switch up for now, because everyone seems to have some issues. Like, there's nothing issues like family issues. There's one thing of cutting friends off, cutting coworkers off, but family, people who you're related to by blood that you have to see at reunions or church or funerals or whatever, it's, or if you even work with them, it gets really, really complicated. So there is that, and then afterwards you do have uh you have a quick little like 30-second clip of Peter and Cynthia on the beach relaxing and having fun, and I guess trying to strengthen their marriage. And so then we have Phaedra at the office, and Mama Joyce pops up. Mama Joyce pops up like she normally does, and but this time it's for the good. Initially, it starts off rocky because it starts off rocky because you have to remember Mama Joyce is has an A1 personality, and so as a result, she will go and confront people, which I do appreciate, even if it's not warranted. But she's basically like, okay, so what's going on between you and Candy? And Phaedra's honest. She's like, Candy and I are actually good. We don't have issues. We did talk about whatever it was that was a problem. We discussed it, and we're fine. We should be fine. And she's like, okay. So what about you and Portia? Because I heard you two were saying certain things. She was like, well, I never say anything bad, malicious. Paraphrasing, bad, malicious to your daughter. Like, what do you about your daughter? And so, what are you talking about? Type of thing. Like, no, Don Juan. You know Don Juan. And it's like, Don Juan. He misconstrued. He heard things that uh, we weren't actually talking about, and so it got back to Candy, and that's how that all happened. But so they squared it off right there, and actually, she came there because she wanted to ask someone who was, of course, a close friend to Candy, and she was like, Candy's having a complicated pregnancy, so we have to make sure that. I want to make sure nothing happens to her and she can't deal with this type of stress. And she's like, oh, yeah, I understand. And so she was like, yeah, so actually, I want your help with something. Let's plan a baby shower together. Because she's like, and Phaedra's like, oh, well, I do the events and it's over the top. And she's just like, yeah, I know. Mm. So, in her Mama Joyce voice. And so she goes down a list of things that she wants or things that would be interesting. And she was like, yeah, remember Aiden's party? And she was like, oh, yep, I remember. Look, trust me, I remember. We all remember. What was it? Mr. President? Or Prince Aiden? I forgot his title. But anyway, so they were just discussing all these different things. And she was like, yeah, Candy, it can't be too extra, but I know you got it type of thing. So Porsha actually goes to her sister, and pretty much with a peace offering, she brings her some flowers because she knows she messed up as far as how everything came out. And so they sit down, they actually talk, and they discuss their issues. And Porsha is just like, my real issue is, of course, I didn't see myself divorced and my baby sister getting pregnant before me, which we already knew. We already knew. And so her sister is trying to tell her, like, yeah, I know that the fact that you're not settled down, don't have a kid bothers you. And Portia's trying to deny it at that point. And she's like, stop, I know you, so let's not play this game. And so they're like, and I know you're stressed. You've been eating differently, like, what's going on? And Portia, of course, is just talking about how her life is, and like I said, how it's not turning out the way she thought it would be. And so that's stressing her out. And she was also hurt that she didn't, her baby sister didn't come to her and tell her sooner that she was having a baby herself. It was like, why would you hide something like that from me or wouldn't tell me? And remember, she told her essentially by accident she wasn't feeling well, and so then the cat was out of the bag. She had to tell her at that point. And so there was the issue there. So they clearly have issues with each other. But the next scene is actually Kenya back in Detroit with her father and her family, and she makes a pit stop. It's one of the things that we saw in the previews for the season, and she goes to see her mom. Well, actually, she tries to go and see her mom. Her mom was basically like, no, no, this isn't happening. Uh, she actually locked the door because someone wanted to go and unlock the door, and she was like, don't open the door, type of thing. And so Kenya didn't get to see her mom, and it was messed up because it's like at the end of the day, that's your daughter, and her father was explaining to her that, it's because of her dad. Her dad basically instilled with her, you're not gonna have any more of those. I forgot how he phrased it. It was a very old timey way of phrasing it, but essentially saying, I think because Kenya was born out of wedlock, and so that was the real issue. And so as a result, she never got her father, her grandfather wouldn't claim her. It was just so much messed up stuff. So then her father actually had to get out of the van and get her because it was like, okay, stop. At this point, just stop. So after that, we see we see Todd and Phaedra, of all people, come back together because Phaedra wants to get this business in order with the whole video. And Todd's cool because it's like, yeah, this is exactly what I wanted. And so Phaedra looks at the video, and it's actually a video of her when she was still pregnant, right before she gave birth. And so she was going to release it. She's not going to release it now, but she was originally planning to release it. But she looked at it and she was saying how, oh, because of how things were in my life, it was like just gave birth, and then the father of my child was sentenced to jail, and so I couldn't even think about it until now. And I'm like, what type of BS is that? It's business. It's business, regardless of what it was centered around. It's business. So how are you gonna go and tell someone, oh, yeah, I couldn't really deal with it until now because uh, of all the stuff that was going on in my personal life? Anyway, so she looks at it and she realizes it's not necessarily the quality or the look that she wants, but contractually she still has to pay him, and so because the time and effort was produced. So see, that's why contract is important, especially in entertainment business. I actually, even though I went into schooling for business, I of course graduated with that marketing and management BA, but I only did that because I wanted secure money. Because I couldn't, even with my internships, all of my internships were paid, and I was getting paid a lot of money. So it was, I did that because of things like this. In the entertainment industry, you have this foolishness where people are like, oh yeah, because I'm not gonna do the project afterwards, you're not gonna get paid, even though you did the work. In what world? In what world? So anyway, she does go and she's like, yeah, tomorrow you will be getting a check for the $8,450 uh, dollars or whatever. And so that's officially squashed. They're friends again. Everything should be copacetic. Now, Kenya is back with her family again. Now, unfortunately, it's just her father's side of the family because no one from her mother's side, including her Aunt Lori, just remembered her name, Aunt Lori, came back. She was there for 10 minutes and then left because she got a call from Kenya's mom. And so in the next episode, we'll find out, we'll see them arguing over that. And in the next episode, spoiler alert, Nini's back. So that should be interesting. I guess that means Marlo's gone and probably Sheree too, even though actually we do see Sheree in the next episode. But my whole thing was today, I'll get back to Kenny in a second. But if today was family day as far as this episode, why wasn't Kim Fields on here? This was the perfect episode for Kim Fields to be on here. I'm just not getting that. It makes no sense to me. But anyway, so we have uh, Kenya, and she's saying hello to everyone. She's talking about how her grandmother actually raised her to be the woman she is today, and if it wasn't for her, she wouldn't be who she is. And that's really cool, and that's really nice. And we meet her best friend, and all of that. And so they have a moment because she's wondering where her aunt is. And so she asked about it, and then you see her. The last scene is with her father talking, and they're. Sorry, I keep looking away. They're just talking about how, oh, when she was a little girl this and she was a little girl that, looking at her photo album. And it was really touching to see him do, I guess, what traditionally what we think a father would more so do, because I think we can all agree that he's a little he and Kenya don't have a good relationship, and so as a result, it really kind of shows on camera that it's not a regular father daughter, like a father swooning over his daughter relationship. But that's it. Let me know what you think. Please comment, subscribe. Did you enjoy this episode? Did you enjoy the kind of change of pace? This whole family geared episode. Uh, are you happy that Nini's returning next week? Sheree's gonna be on next week. Kim Fields is gonna have a little fit because her young kids are gonna be in the conversation about, uh, of course, the black sons. You know, the debate about the black sons and how America or society in general don't care or don't like our black sons type of thing. And her kids are young, so I do understand that she feels a certain way. But I'm like, you can't shelter them forever. I understand you don't like how it was presented, but I mean, come on now. Come on now. So again, please comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Later.